6 from Business Math. Here's our warm-up questions as we get started. It says Jaime Querétaro is a truck driver who earns $48,000 a year. He's driving cross-country. He is single with no dependents. He pays $184,000 a year in yearly state taxes. What is the state income tax for his state? Okay, so remember that our formula we're working with is that your tax is equal to your tax rate times your adjusted income. And when we say adjusted income, that means your income with any exemptions that you might have. Now, he is a single person with no dependents. So the only exemption he's going to get is this single exemption right here. So we would take his pay, subtract the $2,000. Okay, so now he's at $46,000. They didn't give this to us nice and easy. We're going to have to do some solving here because we know the tax. We know the tax is $1,840. What we don't know is the tax rate. But we do know that the tax rate times his adjusted income of $46,000 turns out to be $1,840. So we can use that to solve for the tax rate. Right now we have the tax rate times $46,000. So to solve, we do the opposite and divide by 46,000. And whatever you do on one side, you need to do to the other. So we divide by 46,000 over here also. Okay, and this will give us our tax rate, but it will give it to us as a decimal, so we'll want to make sure we then change that to a percent. So we have 1,840, and I divide by 46,000. It's 0.04. And again, that's our decimal number. We want to change that to a percent, so I move the decimal 2 places to the right, and I find that his state tax rate is 4%. Okay, here's our next warm-up question. It says Joan's gross yearly pay is $36,400, so that's her pay before any deductions. She is single and she has one dependent. Her state income tax rate is 5%. How much state income tax is withheld? Okay, so again, we're using that same formula where your tax that you're paying is you take the tax rate times your adjusted income. And we fill in the information we have. Well, first we have to figure out what her adjusted income is. She earns $36,400, but she's single, so she gets a single exemption, and she has one dependent. So she gets $2,000, $2,000 more dollars, so $4,000 is deducted. So we take her pay of $36,400 and subtract $4,000. Again, that's because we had 2,000 and 2,000. That gives us $32,400 for her adjusted income. We're going to take that up here to our formula. This time we don't know how much the tax is that's withheld. That's what we're trying to find. We do know the tax rate is 5%. Move the decimal 2 places to the left. We're multiplying by 0.05 for our tax rate. And we multiply it by our adjusted income, which was $32,400. When we do that, we get $1,620. That would be the amount of state tax that is withheld. Okay, let's jump into the lesson.